In this video, I will be ranking every block in buildaboatfortreasure on the tier list. So yes, make sure to watch the full video, as you may have your own opinion on some of my rankings. And yes, let's get started. So yes, starting off with our first block, we have wood. The block you start with at the beginning of the game, and the block you will still be using when you've played the game for years. The only downside is that wood has 1 HP, but apart from that, it's one of the best decoration blocks in the game. For example, say you don't want to have a metal floor on your yacht. Well, you can have yourself a nice, majestical wooden floor. And it seems like I forgot to add A tier to the list, so yes, let me quickly do that. Wood gets a solid A tier from me. And our next block doesn't even need the explanation, okay? It's straight going into the GOAT tier. Only real ones know why the wooden rod is in the GOAT tier. Leave a comment down below if you know. Anyways, our next block is the other wood. Basically the exact same thing as this wood, but it's a little bit worse. So we're going to put it into B tier. Next up, we have the wooden wedge. No explanation needed for this block, it just goes into D tier. You're not really going to be using this unless you're at the start of the game, okay? Moving on, we have the Truss. Now, this block is actually quite underrated. Because if you don't know how to make ladders, you can just make a ladder model and you can use the trusses as invisible ladders. So Truss is going to go into C tier. If you're enjoying so far, make sure to hype up the video by going to the description and clicking the hype button. It's free and helps YouTube show the video to more people, so thank you. Next up, we have glass. Now glass is a really good block. You can use it for a lot of different mechanics such as one-way glass, and you know, if you're building cars, planes, anything basically, a house as well, you need glass for your windows, okay? So we're going to put glass into B tier. Alright, so for our next block, we have the stone block. Unless you're trying to replicate this pathway, then there's practically no other use for this block. I haven't really used it in any builds, so yeah, this block's going into D tier as well. Alright, moving on, we have the stone rod. No explanation needed, F tier. There's literally no use for this block, okay? I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually use a stone rod for something detailed. Alright, next up, we have the rusted block. Now, appearance-wise, this block definitely isn't the best. However, there is one really cool feature about this block. It has the most friction in the game. So if I make all of this transparency 0 quickly, I've layered it with some rusted blocks. So that gives the tank more friction. And if it didn't have these, then it will just slide down if it tried to climb up the slope. So yes, definitely one of the most underrated blocks for mechanical purposes. Not even C tier, I'm putting this in B tier. Overall, very nice block. Alright, rusted rod. No explanation. Basically every single rod is going into F tier. Next up, we have metal. Metal, my absolute GOAT. Now, this has to be one of the best, if not the best block in the game, okay? Now, this block is like plastic, okay? But instead of having 1 HP, metal has 4. As you can see on my battle boat over here, basically the whole thing is made out of metal, okay? Because I want it to be good in PvP, but I also want it to look cool, okay? But metal is definitely going right to the top of S tier, okay? Next up, we have concrete. Another underrated building block, okay? Now, concrete over here, it has quite a nice texture. So if you want to make roads, for example, let me make one now. I'm not really trying to make it look too nice, but you get what I mean. Concrete just has a really nice texture in general for roads, okay? So concrete is going straight into A tier. But now I'm thinking, shouldn't this wood be higher than concrete? Alright, there we go. Now that's much better. Now the rankings are more accurate, okay? Alright, moving on. We have the concrete rod. Do I even need the explanation for this? It's concrete, but as a rod. So, concrete rod, you're going straight into F tier. Don't ask why I only have 159 marble blocks. I don't really use them. However, this block is really nice for decorations. Like, for example, say you're making a hotel. You can make some really nice flooring, okay, of marble. Just something like this, for example. It just looks really nice. Overall, it still is a really nice decoration block. So I shall place it into B tier. Before we move on, if you are enjoying the video so far, why not leave a like and subscribe? My videos can take me over 8 hours to edit and I really would appreciate it. You can also join my Discord server, the link for that will be in the description down below. And channel members are also out, which will grant various different perks all shown on screen. And yes, let's get straight back into the video. Next up, we have marble rods. No explanation needed, straight into F tier. Oh, titanium! Oh, titanium! No matter how good you are at the game, if you're starting off, you're going to be using titanium. If you're a late game player, or a person who's just been playing Buildaboat for years, and is really good at building, you're still going to be using titanium. The only downside is the texture, but apart from that, titanium going straight into S tier. One of the best blocks in the game, okay? Titanium rods. Is there even a need to explain? Straight into F tier. Next up, we have obsidian. Now, like titanium as well, a lot of people use obsidian, titanium, and gold. They use the big three to make armor for like their tanks and stuff. But if you wanted to add extra layers of invisible armor, you could just add a nice layer of obsidian on top, make it invisible, and then yeah, you can just clone it over. Overall, a really good block defensive wise. Looks wise, you're not really going to be using this unless you're trying to make lava like in those other Roblox games. Like, let me give an example. Something like this, they make the lava look like that. So, obsidian, you are going to be getting yourself also a solid B tier. Moving on, we have gold. Now, I want to show a nice example over here. As you can see, we have gold over here that has basically like +8 more strength than glass over here. However, if we make gold transparency 15, and if we quickly take the color from glass and put it onto gold, as you can see, they practically look the same. A solid A tier. Moving on, we have fabric. Now, fabric has to be one of my favorite blocks in the game, okay? Because this is the go-to block for making seats. And that is also why I have almost 3,000 of it. But for me, fabric is the A tier, but for everyone else, it will probably be a B or C tier. Alright, I gotta hurry up with these explanations. We still got a lot more blocks to cover, and I don't want this to be a 30-minute long video, okay? Next block, bricks. Yeah, unless you're making buildings, then there's not really much of a use for bricks, okay? Straight into C tier. Next up, we have plastic. I don't really think there's much of an explanation needed for plastic. Straight into S tier, bro. Moving on, we have the toy block. As you can see on my boat over here, I actually used toy blocks for the flooring. And it actually looks really well with the boat, I can't lie. Toy blocks for me are going to get an A tier. Keep in mind, this is completely my opinion, and yes, you guys may have other opinions to what I've put on the list, okay? Moving on, we have ice blocks. It's the block with the lowest friction in the game. So ice is going to go straight into B tier. Neon blocks. The most expensive block in the game, but also one of the best, okay? You can't really build good looking mechs without having a bit of neon blocks on them, okay? So yes, for me, neon goes straight into A tier. Next up, we have coal. Now, this is basically concrete, but a little bit worse. So we're going to put it at the bottom of B tier. Moving on, we have grass. If you want to make yourself a football pitch, then yeah, you're going to be needing grass for a football pitch, okay? So yes, for me, grass is going to go into B tier. And the final block for the block section is sand. Basically the same as grass, but it has a few more features, okay? And the sand just makes it blend in perfectly to the water. But yes, guys, for that reason, sand is going to go into A tier for me, okay? Right, now that we're done with the block section, it's time for us to move on to this section. But we have a lot more blocks to rank. Yeah, there's not really much to explain about the seat block. If you want to make custom chairs, for example, seats like these, then yes, you're going to need a seat block to do that. So yes, guys, the seat block has to go into the GOAT tier, okay? Alright, next one, we have the step. Not really much of a need to explain this. Next up, we have the mast. So yes, if we place that there to hit the block, as you can see, the football, if we wait a little bit, it should go straight into the goal. Because it's useful for the football pitch, we'll put it into D tier, okay? Moving on, we have the steering wheel. If you're too lazy to build a steering wheel like me, then yes, this block is the perfect replacement. So, solid C tier block, not really any other uses for it. Moving on, we have the window. Do I even need to explain? Next up, we have the door. It can open and close, okay? And that's good enough to save the door from F tier. Moving on, we have the hatch. Exact same thing, but it's not really needed. So, straight into F tier you go. Next up, we have the common chest. The goat, okay. This block was just recently removed from the game and is now unobtainable. So if you haven't got the block, you sadly can't obtain it anymore. So for that, we have to honor it by giving it the GOAT tier, okay? Same thing for the epic chests, goes straight into the GOAT tier as well. And for the rest of these chests, the small treasure, medium treasure, and the large treasure. This one's going to go into F tier, this one's going to go into F tier, and this one's going to go into D tier. Next up, we have the pine tree. Now, you can only obtain this block during the Halloween event, and it does make for some good decorations sometimes. So, we're going to put this block into B tier. Next up, we have the trophy blocks. And because there's not really a use for these blocks, D tier, D tier, and D tier. Same thing with the torch. It can be used for lights, and it does make for some really good decorations. And yeah, you can't really do that without having a torch block. So torch is going to get itself straight into B tier, okay? Lamps, not really much to explain. So this block is also going to go into B tier. Alright, next up we have the candle. But it's not as useful as the rest of these. But it does make for a pretty decent decoration block. So it can get itself a solid C tier. The new name of this block is now an anvil. Not really much to say. You're not really going to be using the anvil block. So straight into F tier. Right, we have the next chair. But unlike this seat block over here, I don't really see anybody using this seat block, okay? So, I feel bad. We'll bump it up to C tier, okay? We gotta honor it. Moving on, we have the throne. Exact same thing. Because of that, though, we're going to put this block into C tier as well. Moving on from that, we have the flag. Is there even a need to explain, guys, okay? Moving on, we have the signs. Not even a need to explain. Over here on this side, I use signs. If you're too lazy to make custom letters and don't want to spend like 2 hours making custom words, then the signs come in clutch for you. And if you're also in a different age group to somebody else, you can communicate with them through signs. Absolutely goated block, okay? Moving on, we have cake blocks as well. Is there even a need to explain? Straight into the GOAT tier. This is a mobile player's #1 go-to block from X, okay? Cake blocks, or the classic fireworks as well. Next up, we have pumpkins. Apart from decoration, no other use for the block. Next up, we have all the plushies. Now, decoration-wise, I guess they act as cool Easter eggs on builds. So yes, we're going to put all of the plushies into C tier. Right, guys, but now that we've done the second part, it's time for us to move on to the last section, okay? The star blocks. Starting off with the locked door. Now, this is like the normal door, but 10 times better, okay? So you can make automatic doors while using sensors. So locked door, you will go 1 tier above your brother, straight into C tier. Alright, next up we have the TNT barrel. Not much of an explanation needed, it goes straight into C tier. Next up we have Dynamite, straight into S tier. Exact same thing with Spike block, straight into S tier as well. These are the best blocks that actually deal damage in the game. If you want to make yourself a nice working sword. What the hell just spawned in the background, bro? Yo. Okay, I guess he can do his thing. Moving on, we have the football. Me personally, I'm going to put this block into A tier. Very, very solid block overall. Next up, we have sensors. So yes, as you can see, over here I have a working radar/tracking system, okay? Each one of these pixels is 1 block, and we can track where the players are going, depending where they are in the sensor. As you can see, Fireway is moving over there, so he is closer to the front of the radar. Solid S tier block. It's even binding to my other mechanical blocks. Wow, how kind of you, Sensor, how kind. Next up, we have cannons. Now, this is also a PvP block, and it can ragdoll players. So, straight into S tier as well. Next up, we have the big cannon. Yeah, not really much of a use for this. So, straight into C tier you go. Same thing with the snow cannon. If we shoot a certain bit there, now he is a ghost. Bro's making me his test dummy, he knows. See, now Fireway is a ghost. And yes, this block gets a solid A tier. Next up, we have the minigun. Very self-explanatory. So yes, that will go straight into S tier. Next up, we have the normal harpoons. Straight into C tier. Next up, we have the jewel candy cane harpoon. Straight into A tier. Then we have the golden harpoon, which will go into B tier. And then the dragon harpoon will go into S tier. Okay, we have quite a bit more blocks before this list is over. This is probably the longest part here. So, let me get this done nice and quickly. Normal thruster goes straight into B tier. And the ultra thruster goes into A tier. The normal red jet turbine goes into A tier. And the purple jet goes into S tier. Next up, we have the Ultra Boat motor, which is going to get itself a solid A tier. And we have the normal boat motor, which is going to get itself a solid B tier. Alright, moving on from that, we have the glue block. Now, glue block has to go into S tier. There's not really much else to say. You can use it to connect other stuff to your avatar. Balloon block, straight into A tier, you go. Alright, next up, we have the mounted cannon. Basically, every single troll in Buildaboat for Treasure uses this block. Straight into B tier. Yes, I must put the amazing mounted flintlocks into B tier as well. Same thing with mounted swords. Straight into B tier. Potions, we'll put them into A tier. Only because the fire potion does insane damage that we do not need to be talking about. Next up, we have the mounted bow. Now, this can be used for one of, if not the most OP glitch in the game. Yes, you can basically fly around and you can pick up players and builds. Yeah, if we grab his mech, we can basically just steal his whole... Oh my god. We can steal his whole mech and we can drop it off the map, bro. Anyways, that's enough yapping. That is why bow gets A tier, okay? Mounted knight sword is the normal sword, but worse. C tier. Exact same thing with the mounted wizard staff. C tier. Alright, now we have the big 5, bro. All 5 fireworks. B tier. And this firework gets S tier because it can act exactly like the cake. It can basically do the cake's job if you don't have it in your inventory. So, yes, that is why that one gets S tier, okay? Moving on, we have the button. You can't really go wrong with it. A tier. Next up, we have the dome camera. Both are going to go into A tier. Parachute. Yeah. Unless you're making an ejection seat for your plane, then there's not really a use for the parachute, okay? Is there anything to say about delay blocks? The goat right here, the goat. Delay blocks, my absolute goat, bro. Yo. Music notes, unless you're making music, then you don't really need this. So, music notes gets a solid B tier. Display block straight into S tier. It can be used to basically display anything. Logic gates, not really anything else I need to say. If you're smart, unlike me, then you'd understand how logic gates work. Next up, we have car seats straight into S tier. Same thing with pilot seats, they go into S tier as well. These are basically used in 90% of PC mechs. And yes, remote controls also are going to get S tier. Moving on, we have servos, solid A tier mechanical block. But now, because we have logic gates, sensor blocks, and this one over here, there's not really much of a need for servos that much anymore. So that is why servo is going into A tier instead of S tier. Moving on, we have pistons. Not much else I need to say as well. Straight into A tier. Pistons going into S tier, bro. It can just be used for so much different mechanics, bro. Alright, hinges. We'll put hinge straight into A tier, okay? Next up, we have the big 3. Springs, bars, and the other one. So spring goes straight into A tier. And then the other 2 go straight into B tier. I don't really see a use for the other 2. I haven't really used them much before, apart from like 1 or 2 builds. So yes, those 2 will go into C tier. Next up, we have the wheels. If you want to make a working turret, then you're going to need yourself a pair of wheels, okay? So wheel will also sneak straight into S tier. And then the other wheels will go into A tier. They're like this wheel, but they're worse, okay? They're not really used for mechanics as often. Alright, and then we have the 2 big wheels. Can I sneak them on here? You know, we're going to put them there, okay? People don't really use this that much anymore. But overall, they're still really good blocks. Moving on, we have the candy blocks. Exact same thing with these blocks, but yeah, nobody really uses them. So they will both straight go into B tier. Right, next up we have magnets. Now magnets can be used for quite a lot of mechanics. Yeah, we'll sneak magnets into A tier, okay? Magnets go into A tier, I guess. Alright, now we have the big 5. All 5 of the candies. Blue candy goes into S tier. Red candy goes into S tier. Yellow and purple candy goes into B tier. And the pink candy goes into A tier. And finally, for our last blocks, the normal jetpack goes into A tier. Not really much else to say about it. And then the ultra jetpack goes into S tier. Very good block. And when paired with the cake, can be really OP for a lot of mechs. We have the portal. Now portal is used for a lot of AFK farms. You can sneak yourself into A tier, okay? We'll place you on top of the wheels, why not? And last of all, we have the mystery block, which I will not be placing down on the list, or is going to absolutely destroy it. It can turn certain blocks that can't have any effects into gold or wood. So yes guys, that's every block in Buildaboat for Treasure that I have ranked on a tier list. Now, let me know what you guys think of my tier list down in the comments below. I think I did a pretty decent job. And yes, now let's take a look and adjust some things. Now earlier, we was being a bit too generous with the 4 fireworks. So they are getting demoted. Same thing with these PvP blocks, they are getting demoted. By the time you guys are seeing this video as well, I will be on vacation. So yeah, you can go check my community post for more updates on that. And yeah, that's going to be all for today. I know you guys will like one of these videos on screen right now, okay? Don't believe me? Then yes, just go and click a video, okay? If you're still watching, then what are you doing, bro? Go and click a video. The video in the top right corner is pretty cool. Alright, well, yes, that's basically all I have to say. And yeah, bye-bye, guys.